Hello everyone. So I was having a conversation with a friend today, and I figured today would be a good chance for me to drop another story. Um, like I said, I just really was trying to move on from this story and not harp on it, but I also left out a lot of details. And this is a part of my story, and I feel like I should be able to tell it without worrying about backlash or feeling like I'm constantly speaking on it. But this leads to my journey and kind of talks about how I ended up in a situation like this. So my purpose of this channel, of course, is for healing. Maybe I can help a younger girl, maybe even a girl that was closer to my age, because again, I don't see a lot of these conversations on YouTube. And even if you do see them on social media, I feel like a lot of women, they had a different response, or they don't go into depth of how this type of trauma came about in their life. And we don't talk about it a lot. Like, I really do look up to B. Simone and Megan for their podcast. I love the authenticity. I love the topics that they talk about. And getting to a point of coming to a spiritual awakening and being able to be conscious of the things that you've gone through and being able to speak about it openly and authentically without, speaking on too many details. I feel like this is what we need, especially right now in the era that we're in. So I'm going to talk about my story a little bit more. So once again, this is not to knock my ex. This is not to harm him, but it is to put the story out there. I don't think anybody here knows him. I don't think anybody will know him. So I feel like I'm safe speaking of this. But so leading up to moving to Mexico, I was going through what I think I mentioned this in my last video. It's called my nodal return. And that's where you're supposed to be reaching a level in your life that you're supposed to be at. We all have a past life, which was Scorpio energy, which is where I depended on people. People took care of me, X, Y, and Z. I'm trying to get to my North Node, which is where I take care of myself and I take care of me financially, emotionally, everything like that. Everyone has some type of trauma that they're trying to grow from their childhood, whether it be abandonment, self-love, self-worth, whatever. And this kind of leads to how I ended up in this situation here in Mexico. So, I'm in Merida. I meet this young lady. Again, I won't say names or anything like that, but I meet this young lady. We hang out a couple of times. I even went to her birthday party in February. Seemed like a cool chick. Then there's this thing, ayahuasca, which is ancestral healing here. My husband and I were supposed to go to the ceremony together, but financially we couldn't afford a babysitter to watch our kids overnight. So I decided to stay back and let him experience it first, because honestly, I was nervous at first. I didn't really want to do it. So he went to this ceremony, and I informed my friend that I had known, because she was going too, that he was going. And I said, look after him, make sure he's okay. I'm not going to be able to make it. She was like, okay, cool. The next day, he came home, and within an hour or so, he was telling me, hey, your friend, I met her. It was cool. She was cool, blah, blah, blah. She invited me out to dinner. And me being where I was at that place in time, the old me would have contacted her and we would have had a heart-to-heart. But I was just like, what is going on here? Is this a sign from God that he's already about to put me into some stuff to start showing me what I need to see? Because once again, we were already, kind of in a downward spiral, trying to fix our relationship, and it was just going however it was going. So, I just kind of asked, like, why do you have her phone number? Like, why do you have somebody's phone number that's my friend that I introduced you to just because she was doing ayahuasca? And he was like, why can't I have friends? And me knowing what his response was going to be, was I kind of shut up, because he's always trying to act as if he can't have friends, or like I'm constantly trying to control him, which I'm not. But in this situation, that's the way he tried to act. What? Kids. Anyway, kids. So I think what I was saying was it was disrespectful. And, and for me, because I'm dealt with abandonment issues, I've dealt with self-love issues, I didn't want to harp on this and make him think that I was being jealous or I was being insecure. So I said, okay, have a friend. I'm going to invite her out to your birthday party. So by this time, this was in March. So, I invited her out. She didn't want to go. She said, I don't want to interrupt y'all's family time, but you had the audacity to invite my husband out to dinner and think I didn't know. Whatever. Didn't confront her. Didn't bother her. Have seen her plenty of times after that. Didn't confront her. Wasn't rude to her, nothing like that. Even poetry night. My poetry, she should have known that was about, well, I'm pretty sure she knew that was about my husband. But by that time, they had started spending time together and they had started going out together, and he had started spending a night at her house. Thinking that I didn't know this, but I knew that he was doing it. He said that he was spending a night at friend's house or downtown in Central or whatever he was saying, but I knew where he was spending the night. The girl started acting funny towards me. I would talk to her via social media, and she would answer me weird questions like, how's your mental health? How are you doing? And I'm like, what the fuck is this supposed to be about? And of course, but by this point in my life, I was going through a mental health crisis. I was having meltdowns. I was using alcohol to console myself. And it's embarrassing. It's a phase in my life that I had to grow through. But I realized that the reason why I was doing all that shit is because I was in a toxic ass environment with somebody that didn't care about me. And I had to finally give myself enough grace and enough self-love to say, I'm going to get out of this situation. So it was probably one last straw that we had, and we decided to live on our own. So I moved into my place in April. Fast forward a little bit, my son was having some issues with his anger, which is not uncommon, but it was like different this time. And I expressed to him, I said, look, please don't have other women around my children until you know that you want to be in a serious relationship with them. Keep in mind, this was just in April. We were just together in March. And by May, he could not stay away from this girl. And my kids were coming back telling me that she's over there. Who is she? Daddy said that she's just a friend, blah, blah, blah. But I already knew she wasn't just a friend. And so in May, he finally admitted to me that they were a couple. So after 8 years of marriage, within a month, he was already in a relationship with somebody else, which tells me that he had already checked out our marriage. He had already wanted to be with somebody else, which is not a shock to me, because when we moved to Merida, I did not come first because I was in Texas dealing with some VA stuff. And he informed me when I came back that he had been hanging out with another girl because he didn't know how to take care of the kids by himself. Okay, I don't know what that means. So all these red flags, ladies, let me just tell you, red flags, red flags. And then on top of that, this situation, he did the same thing to me in 2019 when he met another girl, and he was trying to be in a relationship with her, and this was a 40-year-old woman with 5 kids. So y'all, the stories I have about this marriage and me realizing that the way that I carried myself, the way that I went through stuff with him, and the way that I could have walked away, the way that I could have cheated, the way that I could have had better boundaries with myself and could have left this situation. I really wish I could have had more strength to value myself more, but I didn't, but I do now. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm proud of where I am. I'm proud of where I'm going. I've had so many people show up for me nonstop to support me. He doesn't help hardly any, financially, knowing what type of situation that I'm in. My parents gave me a great deal of money this month to help me out. And I'm still, working on me. I'm not trying to rely on him. I know that this is what my goals are and what I'm supposed to be doing. I am supposed to be able to take care of myself financially eventually. And I'm just proud that God put me through what I am going through, because had he not, I would have stayed stuck in this situation, and I would have continuously drowned myself with alcohol to try to deal with this man. I have been clean. You know, I have maybe a drink if I go out or something like that, but I don't have to come home and drink every day anymore just to be able to deal with him or be in his presence. You have to understand when somebody is a trauma bond connection or a karmic connection. And that's what we were for each other. We were great friends when we first met, but we were meant to meet each other to show each other what we did not want in a partner. Now, I do believe wholeheartedly that we could have been soulmates and we could have been in a relationship, but I don't think either one of us had the emotional tools to see a relationship through. Potentially. Because like I said, it's not like this is the first time. And it's not like it's the second. And it's not like it's the third. And it's not like it's the fourth. And it's not like it's the fifth. I lacked self-love for myself. I had those kids. I drowned myself in my children. I was gaining weight, couldn't lose weight, which I know now why. But since I've left him, I've dropped so much weight. My skin is so much more healthier. My brain is so much more healthier. I'm doing so much better. I have so much more focus on the good things that I should be focusing on in my life. And I have so many friends. I didn't have no friends around him. And I feel like the reason why I didn't have no friends is because I was scared that he was going to leave me for him. And that's just the energy that he always carried around him. And so I kept searching for my purpose. Even now, I'm still, praying to God, asking God, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? And I know that I'm supposed to use my voice to heal people. I know I'm supposed to use me as a tool to help people see themselves. And that's what I'm going to do on this journey. So, yeah, this is a part of that story. Next story, we'll probably dive deeper into my past and start talking about how I have single-handedly started self-healing myself. Hope you'll stay tuned. I know it's not all fancy and everything like that, but it's a true story. It's real life. I'm trying to help other people if they want to listen. Share the story. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm taking donations to help me survive here in Merida and to be able to set up a vlog, get what do you call them, like ring lights and all that stuff, to be able to do this a little bit more professionally and have some things set up for that too. So here I am. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna come across this video and be like, oh, we live in Merida and this is what you guys shouldn't do, and don't move abroad without your finances in order, blah, blah, blah. I had all that in order. I was doing good. My problem is that I put my trust in somebody that I thought I could trust, and I can't. And it's unfortunate, and it happens sometimes. And I feel bad for it. I've forgiven myself. But I know the Lord is going to bless me. Till next time. Bye.